Babatunde Ukolala. First, the headlines. Sunday Igboho's house set ablaze overnight in Ibadan. The governors agreed to ban open and night grazing across state. Ondo begins registration of herdsman. Kwara begins medical screening for food vendors ahead of school feeding program. And the foreign saying House sends Trump impeachment articles to Senate, triggering trial. And in sports, Frank Lampard disappointed not to have had more time to prove himself. You're listening to Royal FM 95.1 in Lorry. You can also listen to us by visiting the Royal FM website at www.royalfm.net. The news continues after this time out.
Your family needs you. Nigeria needs you. Drive safe and carefully. Your life is precious.
This message is reaching you from Royal FM 95.1 Ilorin.
5.1, your preferred radio station.
And welcome back. Now the news in detail. The Oyo State Police Command has said it received a report that hoodlums loaded in a bus and taxi came to set ablaze the house of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. The police public relations officer in the state, Mr. Olubinga Fadi, said this in a statement issued today. Fadi also said the police were told that the arsonists shot in the air several times as they put fire to the house located at the Soka area of Ibadan. The house was said to have been burnt at around 3 this morning after the power supply to the area was cut off. He said the police had begun an investigation into the incident. The fire service rushed to the scene to put out the inferno. The mini-sitting room got burnt in the process, while the value of other property is yet to be estimated. Reacting to the development, the Yoruba activist said that what was destroyed at his old house, set ablaze by arsonists, cannot be worth anything less than 50 million naira. And governors of the Southwest have agreed to ban all forms of open and night grazing across the state within the region. This resolve was reached at the meeting between governors from the Southwest region and the leadership of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association. Rising from the meeting, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Coyote Fayemi, said it was resolved at the meeting that night grazing should be banned henceforth. Fayemi further disclosed that the forum also decided that underage herding is inimical to security and hence should be banned. According to a communique read by the Ekiti State Governor, it was also agreed that occupation of state forest reserves illegally will no longer be condoned, while free-range grazing must be stopped to avoid conflict between the farmers and herders.
Meeting discussed vigorously and security and welfare of the people of Nigeria is the primary purpose of government as enshrined in the 1990 treaty and in the indivisibility of Nigeria. That insecurity is a national challenge that is not peculiar to any ethnic group or region, but one that must be addressed by the corporation, construed and misrepresented by the media, and that he only ordered those occupied, not fully herdsmen, to package the state. Meeting discussed.
The meeting between the governors and MacBen Akeredolu to the Fulani herdsmen illegally occupying the state forest reserves to vacate within 7 days. Akeredolu in his remarks said he had never said the Fulani should leave the state. Meanwhile, the Ondo state government says it has governor on security, Alaji Dojumo, disclosed this in Akure, where the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria and Nigeria Governors Forum met. Herdsmen had started leaving the Ondo State Forest Reserve in line with the state government's order, which was backed by week issued herdsmen to vacate the state's forest reserves. The Amotekun Corps is handling the registration of the herdsmen. They who confirmed that the herdsmen were already obeying the governor's orders said the government would be waiting for more herdsmen to register. The federal government has warned that it would shut down the National Youth Service Corps orientation camp in states that failed to comply with all COVID-19 protocols. Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, gave the warning during the briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. According to him, the NYSC would not allow youths to be endangered, and those already deployed to any state affected would be redeployed to other places. It will be recalled that the PGF had conducted the testing of Batch B Corps members. 731 members of Batch B Corps members tested positive for COVID-19 during the test. Kwara State Government has begun a week-long medical screening exercise for 4,500 food vendors ahead of the official takeoff of its homegrown school feeding program. Kwara State focal persons for the National Social Investment Program, Hajia Bashira Abdulrazak, said in a statement that the federal government will take care of primary 1 to 3 students, while the state government will take care of primary 4 to 6 students. Hajia Abdulrazak, who said the exercises in batches, assured applicants that more food vendors would be invited for the medical screening. Addressing newsmen on the sideline of the exercise in Ilorin, Administration Manager, Harmony Advanced Diagnostic Center Ilorin, Yemi Abegunde, said the exercise is to ascertain the health status of all candidates for the state homegrown school feeding program in order not to put the pupils at health risks. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has recorded 1,430 cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 122,996. The NCDC on its official website also registered 3 additional coronavirus-related deaths in the last 24 hours in the country. The Nigeria's Public Health Institute stated that the new infections were reported from 18 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The agency, in its breakdown of the newly recorded infections, shows that Lagos State reported the highest number of confirmed infections with 774 cases. Kwara recorded 32. The health agency also announced the discharge of 1,131 patients from isolation centers across the country. And the news is reaching you from RoyalFM 95.1 in Ilorin. On the foreign scene, the U.S. House of Representatives presented a single article of impeachment to the Senate on Monday, accusing Donald Trump of inciting the storming of the Capitol, setting in motion the first ever impeachment trial of a former president. In a solemn procession, the 9 House impeachment managers silently walked the article through the same ornate halls of Congress overrun by Trump supporters on January the 6th and delivered it to the Senate. Representative Jamie Raskin, the lead impeachment manager, then read out the charge against Trump on the Senate floor, where the former president continues to enjoy significant support from Republican senators. The Senate trial of the 74-year-old Trump, who was impeached by the Democratic Majority House on January the 13th for an unprecedented second time, is to begin the week of February the 8th. Democratic Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said members of the Senate who will act as jurors will be sworn in on Tuesday and the summons issued to Trump. Elsewhere, soldiers have left the house of Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine. On Monday, a Ugandan court ordered the military and police to leave his house, but soldiers did not leave his house straight away after the court's order. He had not left his house on the outskirts of the capital, Kampala, since voting in the presidential election earlier this month, in which he was declared runner-up to President Yoweri Museveni. Bobi Wine has now left his house to address the media. Now to Sporting Brief, Frank Lampard expressed his disappointment at not being given time to succeed after being sacked by Chelsea on Monday, with former Paris Saint-Germain boss Thomas Tuchel set to take over at Stamford Bridge. Lampard led Chelsea to a fourth-place Premier League finish and the FA Cup final in his first season in charge. However, he failed to match much greater expectations this season, after the club spent a reported £220 million on new players in the summer transfer window. A run of 5 defeats in their last 8 Premier League matches has seen Chelsea slip to 9th, 11 points behind leaders Manchester United. Sunday's 3-1 FA Cup fourth-round win against Championship side Luton was not enough to save the former England midfielder. And that's sports news and brief, and that's it on the midday update. But before we go, here again are the headlines. Sunday Igboho's house set ablaze overnight in Ibadan. The governors agreed to ban open and night grazing across state. Ondo begins registration of herdsmen. Kwara begins medical screening for food vendors ahead of school feeding program. On the foreign scene, House sends Trump impeachment article to Senate, triggering trial. And in sports, Frank Lampard disappointed not to have had more time to prove himself. The news was put together by Taiwo Didiro. You can visit www.royaltimes.net for updates on the news. Endeavor to join us at 4 p.m. for the news bit and 6 p.m. for the news around the globe. Should you like to contact us for comments, observations, and any information regarding unfolding events around you, kindly reach out to RoyalFM Newsroom on 0805 0999 968. Again, that's 0805 0999 968. I am Bob Batunde Opolola. Good afternoon.
We have come to the final question of today's edition of and Joy, a hairdresser, is on the hot seat today. Now, Joy,
Sir?
you offer police bribe, him no take. If it happen, I think it no fit happen.
If it happen,
Is that your final answer?
that's not my final answer.
Joy,
Sir?
you are correct. But Joy, why you say if it happen?
Because with good laws, proper funding, training, and cooperation, if it happen.
Yes,
You don't need to
if
stop
it
again.
happen.
You don't.
Go on, sound job.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi má gbé epo Royal FM àní o má gbé epo Royal FM 95.1 ìkànnì tó lò sí gbọ̀ngàn tó kàn sàn.
ọ̀kan ṣoṣo àràbà tó mi gbó kìjikìji ọ̀hún rèé.
Ó takálẹ̀ takákọ̀
ìròyìn àgbáyé lẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ ni àbí torílẹ̀-èdè.
látàrọ òṣèlú, eré ìdárayá, àbí tamúlùdùn.
ẹyẹ tí ó doríkodò bí àdán sí
ilé-iṣẹ́ Royal FM 95.1 Ìlọrin lẹ ó ti máa gbọ́.
aago méjìlá rí kọjá ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́rìndínlógún ẹ̀ka sàn-án ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rírè láti Royal FM nílọrin. Wọ́n dáná sun ilé Sunday Igboho tó wà nílùú Ìbàdàn mọ́júmọ́ òní. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìforúkọsílẹ̀ àwọn darandaran. Ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara bẹ̀rẹ̀ àyẹ̀wò ìlera fáwọn olópò ṣáájú ìgbérasọ ètò ìfúnjẹbú àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ìròyìn ọ̀lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ bọ̀ láìpẹ́ látẹnu Ọlárìnwájú Ògúnníyì.
Orí ejò níbo ni wọ́n àtàwọn ẹ̀mẹ̀wà rẹ̀ ń lọ.
Kọ́dà abẹ́kọ́lẹ̀ ọjà ọ̀gá ìsìn ẹ̀yìn báwa tí wọn lọ́wọ́ kan àti ìṣẹ̀gbẹ́ ìwọ síyẹn ti pọ̀ jù náà wọ́n á fẹ́ jojú wọn láàyè.
Nǹkan gẹ́ èyí tẹ́ ẹ dómi àlàáfíà ilẹ̀ yìí rú tó èrè wo ló ń bẹ nínú làásìgbò ẹ jáwọ́ nínú fòrúdò torí pé àwùjọ tó bá ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ níbẹ̀ ni ìdàgbàsókè.
Ìkìlọ̀ yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ RoyalFM.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà, ìròyìn ọ̀hún rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Àjọ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti sọ pé àwọn ti rí ìròyìn kan gbà pé àwọn ọmọ jàǹdùkú èyí nínú ọkọ̀ bọ́ọ̀sì akérò kan àti táksì ni wọ́n lọ dáná sunlé olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ tọ́pọ̀ èèyàn mọ̀ sí Sunday Ìgbòho. Alukoro àjọ ọlọ́pàá nípínlẹ̀ náà Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Olúgbénga Fádèyí ló sọ̀rọ̀ yìí di mímọ̀ nínú àpilẹ̀kọ kan eléyìí tí wọ́n fi síta lówùúrọ̀ òní. Fádèyí sọ pé ó sì ní ò tí mọ iye owó tó sì jóná lulu. Fún ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò nínú ìpàdé kan láàrin àwọn gómìnà lẹ́kùn gúúsù ìwọ̀ oòrùn, wọ́n ti fòfin de à ń fẹ́ràn jẹko lọ́gànjọ́ òru àtọ̀rọ̀ à ń fa àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké dáná kiri. Ó ní àwọn tó fẹnu kò pé bí máa finú igbó ọba ìpínlẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́nà àìbófinmu làwọn kò tẹ káwọn Fúlàní kúrò nípínlẹ̀ náà, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn Fúlàní darandaran èyí tó wà láwọn igbó ọba nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún lọ́nà àìbófinmu ló ń pàṣẹ pé ká kó àṣà wọn kúrò láàrin ọjọ́ mẹ́ta tó wà nípínlẹ̀ náà. Àmúgbálẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ gómìnà lẹ́ka ìtàbù Alhaji Jimoh Dojúmọ̀ pé làwọn dánú kò sí lánàá nínú ìpàdé wọn èyí tó dá lórí gbèǹdéke ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ adaranjẹ̀ káká àṣà wọn kúrò láwọn ìgbìn nípínlẹ̀ náà. Àtọ́fíìsì àwọn ikọ̀ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn làwọn ṣe ìforúkọsílẹ̀ fáwọn darandaran náà tó sì ní wọ́n ti ń tẹ̀lé àṣẹ gómìnà ọ̀hún àti pé àwọn sì ń retí ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn adaranjẹ̀ sí i láti wá ṣe ìforúkọsílẹ̀ wọn. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti ṣèkìlọ̀ páwọn yóò gbé lẹ́kùn àwọn ibùdó àgùnbánirọ̀ NYSC ti pa láwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tó bá kùnà láti máa tẹ̀lé lànà fún tàrùn COVID-19. Mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ àti ìdàgbàsókè eré ìdárayá Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sunday Dáre ló ṣèkìlọ̀ yìí lásìkò tó ń bá ìgbìmọ̀ ààrẹ tó wà fárùn COVID-19 sọ̀rọ̀. Ó ní àwọn kò ní fẹ̀mí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó ń sílẹ̀ bàbá wọn wéwu àti pé àwọn táwọn ti pín lọ sáwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tọ́rọ̀ ń kàn làwọn yóò tún gbé wọn padà kúrò lọ síbòmíì. Nínú eléyìí tí àyẹ̀wò ti fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé 2,731 731 ló ti lárùn COVID-19 lára. Àjọ NCDC ti ṣàkọsílẹ̀ ẹgbẹ̀rún tó ti lùgbàdì àrùn náà nílẹ̀ wa jẹ́ 1,264 àti 16 gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe gbé jáde. Wọ́n tún láwọn lákọsílẹ̀ 18 nígbà tí wọ́n ṣàwárí 22 nípínlẹ̀ Kwara. Wọ́n fi kún pé àwọn ti yọ̀ǹda 1,000 àti 139 láti lè ṣe RoyalFM 95.1 nílùú Ìlọrin.
Ẹgbà mi yẹ mo sì lónìí kan dé.
Ìwà ẹranko gbáà ní ká fi ọlọ́run náà ní ọ̀bá òfin lẹ wá mú. Ẹni bá wá dẹ́rù rẹ̀ wò kò yẹ kó máa gbé láwùjọ àwọn èèyàn mọ́. Ọjọ́ tọ́wọ́ pálábá rẹ̀ bá wá ségi ní bàrà rẹ̀ ó rí jẹ́ àkùmọ́. Gbogbo ní bá wọ́n ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tàbí tó ń gbà á lérò. Ẹ̀yà.
Láti iléeṣẹ́ RoyalFM 95.1 Ìlọrin.
Ẹ̀ka àwọn olópò ṣáájú ìgbérasọ ètò fífò oúnjẹ bọ́ àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Agbẹnusọ fẹ́tò NS oní primary 1 sí 3 nígbà tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yóò sì máa ṣètò yóò tún ránṣẹ́ pé àwọn ìsọ̀rí míì fún àyẹ̀wò ìlera tiwọn náà nínú àwọn olópò ìlera gbogbo àwọn tí yóò máa ṣe oúnjẹ ọjọ́ kan rí kókó rí ta mẹ́nubà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Wọ́n dáná sun ilé Sunday Ìgbòho tó wà nílùú Ìbàdàn mọ́júmọ́ òní. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìforúkọsílẹ̀ àwọn darandaran. Lákòótán ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara bẹ̀rẹ̀ àyẹ̀wò ìlera fáwọn olópò ní aago 2 lẹ́gbọ̀rún ìlérèfé àti àkójọpọ̀ ròyìn láago 6 àbọ̀rọ̀lẹ́. Táíwò Adédìran ló kórè ìjọ lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Ọ̀làríwájú Ògúnníyì ló tún tó kà sí ti gbọ́ yín. Ẹ kú ọwọ́ lẹ́nu sẹ́wù.
Ìyá
àsòló. Ǹgbọ́n wọ́n ní nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ ládùúgbò yín lánàá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o.
Kí ló adé tẹ̀ fi tú ẹ̀ka àròyìn iléeṣẹ́ Royal FM 95.1 Ìlọrin létí?
Àmọ́ bí àkókò pè wọ́n sí náà ni.
Ó dáa nígbàkúgbà tíṣẹ̀lẹ̀ kan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ládùúgbò yín àbí nínú ìlú yín, ẹ máa pe yàrá ìròyìn wọn sórí 0805 0999 968. Lọ́gán ni wọ́n bá yín gbé jáde.
Ẹ ṣeun, tìyínú àkúkú dáa. Ilé-iṣẹ́ Royal FM ló ní àjọṣepọ̀ àwa àti yín kò ní bàjẹ́.